Apple just released the long-awaited updates to AirPods Pro with the new AirPods Pro 3 that come with a bunch of new features like improved noise cancellation, a heart rate monitor, better battery life, and a new design. However, there are a lot of little tidbits that Apple left out about the new AirPods Pro, and Apple has even advertised some major features on AirPods Pro that are actually coming to other pairs of earbuds. Also, how do these AirPods Pro stack up against the cheaper AirPods 4? And is there a chance that these AirPods Pro might actually be better than Apple's big, over-the-ear AirPods Max? Well, to find that out, you're gonna have to watch the video, and you could do the research yourself, but why would you wanna do that when you could just watch a video? It's much easier, it's a little funner, and come on, this face? You wanna spend 10 minutes staring at this, right? All right, you can set the speed to 2x. First, let's go over what's new with AirPods Pro 3 before we start talking about how they stack up in Apple's AirPods lineup, and let's first go over the design. Now, at first glance, the AirPods Pro 3 look strikingly similar to what I'm holding in my hands right now, the AirPods Pro 2, and you might think, there's nothing really that different here with the design, but there are a lot of subtle tweaks here. First of all, Apple has made the earbuds slightly smaller, but also slightly thicker. But the real design change here is how Apple has changed the rotation of the ear tips more inward so that they produce a secure fit. And the whole inside of the earbud has been re-architected to support a new multi-port acoustic architecture with more precise airflow. Apple says this delivers a deeper bass, vivid vocal clarity, and a wider soundstage than the previous generation. Did I alter my voice to make it sound more smooth? Yeah. The ear tips themselves have also been redesigned to now include a thin layer of soft foam in between the silicone, also enhancing the overall acoustic performance. Apple now even includes 5 sets of ear tips rather than 3 to ensure that users can get a more precise fit. So if you have had problems with the previous fit of AirPods Pro, this new generation might be taking another look at. I really flubbed that line, but I'm not gonna redo it. Now, even though AirPods Pro 3 are using the same H2 chip that are in AirPods Pro 2, Apple still has improved the noise cancellation on this version. They claim that you will get 2 times more noise cancellation than AirPods Pro 2 and 4 times more noise cancellation than the original pair of AirPods Pro. And in my experience, AirPods Pro 2 offered just as good noise cancellation as my over-the-ear AirPods Max. And now with them receiving another boost to noise cancellation, I have a sneaking suspicion that these will perform even better than AirPods Max at total noise cancellation, as improbable as that sounds. Now, I think what's most impressive about this update is despite the better sound quality and improvements to noise cancellation, Apple has also added additional battery life to AirPods Pro, which now get a total of 8 hours of battery life when using them with noise cancellation activated, a 2-hour boost from AirPods Pro 2. And they get up to 10 hours of use when using transparency mode, a 4-hour boost from the old version. The total seal of AirPods Pro 3 have also been enhanced, leading to greater IP57 water, sweat, and dust resistance. Apple says it can handle the sweatiest workouts, that doesn't sound gross, and a sudden downpour of water. Now, yes, AirPods 4 and other pairs of AirPods before it have been rated at IP54 water resistance. But in my experience, I have used my AirPods in the rain. I've done a ton of workouts in them. I've done the sweatiest workouts ever in them. And I've never had a pair of AirPods damaged due to water damage. So listen, any improvement is great. But honestly, I do not think you need to factor that into your purchasing decision. Like if you're like, oh my gosh, they have greater water resistance, I need that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now, another new feature for AirPods Pro is the new built-in heart rate monitor, which can now track your workouts without an Apple Watch. I guess we can get rid of this thing because Apple says you can track over 50 workouts. Although I think it's important to note that based on everything I researched, there is no way to start a workout on the AirPods Pro by themselves. Like you can't use like a gesture to start it. And you have to use the activity app on your iPhone or like another app to start a workout. And, just be made aware, much like the Apple Watch, if you choose to track your workouts, you will receive less battery on the new AirPods Pro. With workout tracking activated, the earbuds max out at 6.5 hours of listening time, although I actually think that's fine considering that's more than the total listening time of AirPods Pro 2. But the elephant in the room is this feature may be very redundant and practically useless if you already own and wear an Apple Watch. And the Apple Watch is a much better workout tracker by itself, considering you don't need to have an iPhone to start a workout, and you can track things like steps with this, which I'm guessing the AirPods Pro cannot do without your iPhone. So you know what? I was a little hasty there. Come back on here, Apple Watch. You're beautiful. Now, the AirPods Pro 3 case also has some interesting design updates. First of all, it has the new integrated status LED light that blends more seamlessly with the case and removes the physical back button in favor of a touch-sensitive one, just like AirPods 4 did. The case is also slightly taller and wider than the previous generation, and an interesting thing to note is it does weigh slightly less. Not that I think anyone was complaining about the weight of such a small device. However, one thing I did notice here is that there is technically a downgrade with this version of the AirPods Pro 3 case, and that is that the case now only provides 24 hours of additional charge compared to the AirPods Pro 2, which offered 30 hours of additional battery life, suggesting to me that they removed a little bit of the overall battery capacity, and that would explain the weight difference. And there is another update to the charging case. It now includes the full catalog of U2's music, all of the albums right inside your AirPods Pro. Oh wait, not U2, the band, the U2 wide band chip, which will allow for precise location finding at longer distances, up to 1.5 times farther than the previous generation. It's not like Apple would load up YouTube music on your device without you telling them to. That would be weird. Now, those are all the updates to AirPods Pro 3 that make them a pretty big update. And the good thing is that Apple kept them at the same price point, $250. Now, even though there is no price increase, these are still very expensive earbuds. So you might be considering going for the cheaper AirPods 4, which retail for as low as $129 without noise cancellation and $189 with noise cancellation. Now, AirPods 4 have a very different fit than AirPods Pro. That's because they do not have ear tips, and instead, they sit just outside your ear. Let me first start by saying that fit and feel are very subjective, but to me, I find that AirPods are generally more comfortable to wear for longer periods of time than AirPods Pro because there's nothing physically being inserted into your ear canal. That being said, that also comes with some downsides, namely that the fit isn't as secure for most people, so AirPods are more prone to falling out, especially during intense activity. If I'm doing a bench press and I'm laying down flat, these things always fall out of my ear. And because it doesn't provide a proper seal, even with noise cancellation abilities on the more expensive models, AirPods 4 do not cancel out the same amount of noise as AirPods Pro. For example, I would say for most use cases with my current pair of AirPods Pro 2, not even the updated ones, which are better, I can block out most lower external noise with just the noise cancellation activated, not even with music being played. To focus on music and really block out all sounds, I would probably only need to have the volume at around 40 to 50%. And with regular AirPods, with noise cancellation, that volume would have to be around 70 to 100% to really block out a lot of that external noise, and sometimes you may even still let some through. Not having ear tips also means reduced sound quality. I would say the area you notice this the most with AirPods 4 is that they have reduced bass over AirPods Pro. However, for an open ear design, I do think AirPods 4 overall sound pretty good. They sound pretty crisp, and I'm pretty surprised by the sound quality of these. AirPods 4 also have half the battery life of the new Pros, so they only have 4 hours of listening time with active noise cancellation. And while I do like the smaller case on AirPods 4, it also does provide less overall charge time with just 20 hours of additional charge. However, it's important to note that some features that were marketed as new for AirPods Pro 3 aren't exclusive to that model. That is namely the live translation feature, which can automatically translate English, French, German, Portuguese, and Spanish live directly into your AirPods. Now, these are also supported on AirPods 4 with noise cancellation and even AirPods Pro 2. So if you have an older pair, you don't need to update to AirPods Pro 3 to get this feature. Saw a lot of commentary on social media saying, I'm getting AirPods Pro 3 just for this feature. I'm upgrading my AirPods Pro 2. No, you don't need to upgrade your AirPods Pro 2 just for this feature. You can actually just keep your pair if they're working well and save some money. However, don't be fooled because AirPods 4 without the active noise cancellation does not get this new translation feature, which is a bummer. So, should you save money by getting AirPods 4? Well, let's have an honest discussion here. I think AirPods 4 are in a really weird spot right now. For $250, you get a lot of improvements on the new AirPods Pro 3 that I think make them worth the additional $60, especially if you are interested in better sound quality, improved noise cancellation, better battery life, more robust hearing protection features, and if you don't wear an Apple Watch, that workout feature could be really compelling. Also, the thing that's really hard for AirPods 4 is AirPods Pro 2 are still widely available around the same price point on sites like Amazon, link in the description, for around the same price as AirPods 4. And overall, I think the second generation Pros are still a better buy than AirPods 4, unless there's some sort of specific fit issue you have with in-ear earbuds, then I could see why you would choose AirPods 4 with noise cancellation. Other than that, the only way I see AirPods 4 being worth it is if you are on a very limited budget and do not care about noise cancellation or the new live translation feature. Then at $129 or closer to around $100, depending on where you buy them, the normal pair of AirPods make more sense in this lineup, and I can still recommend those to budget-conscious buyers. Now, what about the upgrade pick, right? The big old AirPods Max. These are a product that I still use pretty frequently, so are they worth the additional $300 of AirPods Pro 3? Well, let me be dishonest. Actually, let me be honest. AirPods Max with USB-C was already a pretty lackluster upgrade, and these are still using a lot of old tech like the H1 chip, which means they don't get a lot of advanced features like conversation awareness, hearing test feature, live translation, adaptive audio, voice isolation, personalized volume, and they have zero water resistance. The only advantage these things have in terms of features is they're really heavy and they have 20 hours of total listening time. And I would say noise cancellation, but again, I'm very curious to see how AirPods Pro 3 stack up against these, because if they're really twice as good, they might be better than AirPods Max. I know it's hard to believe based on physics, but I don't know, 2 times the noise cancellation of AirPods Pro sounds really good. Now, yes, the one area where these are still likely going to win out over AirPods Pro 3 is with the overall sound quality. These deliver a richer bass, these are clearer, these have better, sound separation. Overall, the sound quality on AirPods Max is going to be better than tiny earbuds. Like, I would be pretty shocked if the AirPod Pros 3 beat this in sound quality. I don't think that's possible. These just have much bigger drivers, right? Like these are still going to win out. And hey, they also support lossless audio over USB-C and have much lower latency when you're using a cable connection, which makes them better for tasks like music production or video editing. You can almost think of AirPods Max as pro headphones for pro use cases. But there is always going to be that market segment that prefers over-the-ear headphones to earbuds. And if you can stomach the price, I guess that makes them worth it. Listen, if I told you they weren't worth it, I'd be a hypocrite because I use them, right? To me, these are worth it, but I get it. These are very expensive. These are not for everyone. But yeah, that would be my recommendation is probably don't get the AirPods Max unless you absolutely need them. And most people are going to want something more portable. Most people are definitely going to want something cheaper. So for most people, AirPods Pro 3 is obviously the way to go, unless again, of course, you want the over-the-ear headphone design. So overall, AirPods Pro 3 look like a really good update. That is very hard to beat. I've been using my AirPods Pro 2 almost every day for the last 3 years, and I am definitely upgrading to this new pair. But hopefully, this buyer's guide helped you out in deciding which pair of earbuds is right for you, and if it did, show your support by leaving a like, comment below, and subscribe for more. And consider using my affiliate link below to purchase any pair of AirPods or really anything on Amazon. It'll help the channel out, and you'll be my hero. All right, that was a weird outro. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.